What is going on, family? Listen, I am so excited that you decided to tune in today. My name is Pastor Todd, and I have the blessed privilege to give leadership to the First Institutional Baptist Church. And for whatever reason that you clicked on this video, it means the absolute world to me. We are beginning a new series called Pursue Again. There's some things that in 2026 you're trying to pursue. And I'm going to begin a message today entitled Principles for the Pursuit. There's some reasons and there's some foundational things you need to know in your pursuit of whatever God has for you in 2026. And I'm super excited about you and I coming together on this message. I see you on the other side. Peace.
Start our new sermonic series called Pursue Again, with today's message being entitled The Principles for the Pursuit. Principles for the Pursuit. Principles for the pursuit. Lord, speak. We need to hear. Amen. Principles for the pursuit. By way of recommendation, I was recommended a book by Trevor Moawad entitled It Takes What It Takes. Moawad is a sports psychologist and a conditioning coach. He's worked in premier leagues all across the country. And in his book, he ties a number of success stories to what is called neutral thinking. We all know something about positive and negative thinking, but maybe you don't know about neutral thinking. Positive thinking is perhaps provides a positive lens by which you and I can choose to view something or some situation. And then there's negative thinking. It's the decision by the individual to choose to view something or some circumstance tainted by negativity. But let's be honest, many of us have a bias towards one or the other. Some of you are some negative Nancy's. The glass is always half empty for you, and that's why people don't want to talk to you, because you always negative. But then perhaps some of you, you've met those people that it doesn't matter what is going on in their lives. They always feel like as if that there is an opportunity and a possibility for things to turn around. But neutral thinking is a bit different, because he says that neutral thinking shuns all attempts at illusion or outright self-delusion. It seeks to strip away both the biases that are internal and external. It accepts the past as a real event, but understands that the next event is independent of the past and can be different in the future. See, neutral thinking in real time forces us to position ourselves in the moment and begs for you and I to change the future that lies ahead. You know, contrary to popular belief, you and I don't begin every new year with a clean slate. We don't get the opportunity to delete our memory or our experiences with the years prior to 2026. We stand on in between what has already happened and the possibilities of what can happen as we continue to go forward. And you know, this is why the book of Joshua is so important to you and I. It reminds us that in most seasons of transition, that you and I aren't able to go into another chapter and completely delete the last one. You know, on last week, we spoke about this pericope of Numbers chapter 13 and 14, where Moses gives instructions to the spies to spy out the land. You remember what he says to them. He says, go up there into the Negev and go into the hill country and see what the land is like, and whether the people who live in it are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, whether the land that they live in is good or bad, whether the town ground that they live in are unwalled or fortified, whether the land is rich or poor, whether the trees are in it or not, be bold and bring some fruit back with you. And those were the clear instructions to these men, and they were tasked to bring back a report. However, 10 come back with an unfavorable report. You know, we learned something about negativity here, because listen to the report in verse 31 of Numbers chapter 13. It says, we are not able to go up against this people, for they are stronger than we. The land that we have gone through as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great size. There we saw the Nephilim, and to ourselves we seem like grasshoppers to them. And the next verse says, then all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept that particular night. You see how quickly negativity travels. The message that Caleb gave didn't travel as quickly, didn't travel as far. Caleb said, yeah, I've seen everything that the other 10 have seen, but if God made a promise to you and I believe that we can occupy the land. And another thing that we learn about negativity is not only does negativity happen quickly and travel quickly with frequency, negativity, my friends, always is in concert. You don't get what I'm saying. In other words, it's always easy to find a group of people to rally around whatever the negativity is. Why didn't anybody make the decision to rally around the messages of Joshua and Caleb? I'll tell you why. It's because it's easier. Our human tendency is for you and I to rally around the negative things of life. Negativity typically happens in very quick ways. And God gets upset and says, no generation, this generation will not make it into the promised land. All of them that did not believe in God, God says, you won't see the promised land. And here we have and find Joshua stuck between what had happened before and what could be in the future. It's their second opportunity to pursue the land again. And these next 9 verses outline some principles that can anchor us as individuals and the church to pursue everything that God has for you and I. Can I show them to you? It shows us that going forward is never absent of grief. Going forward is never absent of grief. You cannot go forward and not experience grief at the same time. Verses 1 through 2, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, my servant Moses is dead. Now proceed to cross the Jordan. Moses, my servant, is dead. These words would have sent chills down the spine of anyone in Israel at this time. Moses, the one who was drawn out of the Nile River and raised in Egypt and saved the Hebrews from 400 years of oppression. Moses, he's dead. Moses, the one whom God utilized to send some 10 plagues to the polytheistic Egyptian society, ultimately rendering that Yahweh was more powerful than their pantheon of God. Moses is dead. Moses, the one that stood at the banks of the Red Sea, and then when he couldn't figure out whether to go forward, backward, or to the side, God says, lift up your staff, Moses. He lifts up his staff and they walk across on dry ground. Moses is dead. And then go over to Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Notice how it reads. It says that Moses was 120 years old when he died. But although he was 120 years old when he died, his sight was unimpaired and his vigor had not been abated. Moses was a very strong man before when he died. And note the last verses of Deuteronomy 34. It said, never since has there arisen a prophet in Israel like Moses, who knew the Lord face to face. Moses is dead. And here is another truth that potentially we miss if we read too quickly. There is communal grief, but then there's personal grief. Verse 1 says that he's Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' assistant. You see, this was the OG of Joshua. It was Joshua's mentor. It was Joshua's big homie. And remember, when we go back to Deuteronomy 34, it was Joshua whom Moses lays his hands on and gives him the spirit of wisdom. Everyone else is grieving their leader, but he's grieving a big brother. And in the midst of all of the grief, God says, now is the time to cross over the Jordan. You know, depending on how you read it, it's almost a connection that the death of Moses triggers the time to go over the Jordan, that it's the most difficult time to go. It's the most inopportune time to go. It would make more sense for them to cross the Jordan when Moses is still alive, giving their history. But no, Moses has to die. And then they can cross over to the other side. What are you and I to do when God calls for us to cross during the worst seasons of our lives? And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. It would have been much better for you to move across the country while your best friend was still alive. It would have made more sense to get the job while your spouse was still alive. It would have been better for the blessing to come through while your parents were still alive. Hear me, friends, that grieving is okay. However, it's not okay for grief to stop you in your tracks. And perhaps, maybe the best way to honor the individuals you are grieving is by going forward. We cannot stay stuck due to the memory of Moses. We've got to move forward. God never told us that going forward meant forgetting, but we all have to make the decision to keep on going. Now, cross the Jordan. But how? How are we to cross the Jordan? Joshua and this new generation of Israel have to come to grips with the reality that this is the continuation of a much larger narrative. It may have included Moses, but it doesn't stop with Moses. Moses may have played a large role, but it doesn't stop with Moses. How do you and I cross the Jordan? How do we cross over? We've got to understand that where we are is the longer continuation of a much larger narrative that is bigger than you and I. We read it. Have you read down a bit to verse 3? Notice what he says. Moses is dead. Moses, the servant of the Lord, Moses, the servant of Yahweh, is dead. But then we get to verse 3. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, as I promised Moses. Verse 5, no one shall be able to stand against you all the days of your life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Let me try it one more time. Moses is dead. Moses did some great things. Moses brought you out of Egypt. Moses was the one leading you into the promised land. Verse 3, every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I promised Moses. And then verse 5, no one shall be able to stand against you all the days of your life, as I was with Moses, so I'll be with you. You hear me? The promise was made to Moses, and God never left Moses. And God reframes the memory of Moses. His memory allows for us to know how God moved in the past and what God will do in the future. You see, when you reframe your memories, it allows for you to grieve for them in the present, but also allows for you to know the possibilities of a brand new future. You see, because Moses crossed a Red Sea, but Joshua is going to have to cross the Jordan. Every generation will be tasked with the responsibility to cross over just a different body of water. Now, my friends, it makes sense why they don't want certain books in our schools, because once we learn and understand where we come from, it will set the stage for our children to learn how to dream again, to think again, to imagine again. You know for sure that's why we can't that's why they don't want them to read about Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, when he refused to be called by a name that was not his and still became the champion of the world. That's why they don't want us to read about Fannie Lou Hamer, that woman from Mississippi that said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's why they don't want us to read about Malcolm X that led a movement in the 1960s. That's why they don't want us to read and remember the memory of Martin Luther King that had a dream and then was killed and assassinated at the same time. That's why they don't want us to remember the memory of Marcus Garvey that led the biggest freedom movement during this particular time on the world. Why? Because once you know where you come from, it allows you to know what God can do in the future. I don't know who I'm talking to here today, but you better hear me. If your God ever made a way for your grandmama, if your God ever made a way for your mama, if your God ever made a way for your grandfather, if your God ever made a way for your daddy, I'm trying to tell you, God didn't switch up his roles. God said the same thing that I did on yesterday, I'm able to do today. Here it is. If you want to go forward, you have to reframe your memory of yesterday. Not allow it to keep you stuck, but allow it to propel you forward, because God has some possibilities. Because if God did it before, that means God can do it again. I got one more movement here, and I'll see y'all on next Sunday. But how forward do you and I go? How do I know what to pursue and what not to pursue? It's in your Bible. If you didn't tear it out, it's verses 3 through 5. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you. You know, I wish this was a storefront Pentecostal church. Because when I read the beginning of verse 3, they would have been flipping chairs and running around the room. Let me try it one more time for the people that read their Bibles. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you. I'm missing the back row, so the third time's the charm. Let me try it one more time. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I've given it to you. Y'all be seated. Joshua is to cross over the Jordan. And God gives geographical markers which mark out the land that belongs to the children of Israel. I told y'all we're going to learn and shout at the same time. There are geographical markers. Note them in verses 3 through 5. He says, from the wilderness and the Lebanon, that's the north. As far as the great river Euphrates, that's to the east. All of the land of the Hittites in the desert, that's the south. To the great sea in the west, that's the Mediterranean Sea. God says to the north, to the east, to the south, and to the west. You see, these markers help serve as instruction to Joshua as the land as to which God is giving him. But notice the instructions that he makes reference to in your Bible. It says to them, this Lebanon or that Lebanon. What you don't understand is that this is very key, because preachers, the Israelites are standing on the east side of the Jordan. And if they're on the east side of the Jordan, Jordan, that means that the Lebanon River would have been outside of their sight. Hold on here for a moment. They're on the east side of the Jordan, and God is making them a promise that they are going to be given a land that they cannot even see yet. God is going to give them a land that they can't even see from their place, from their current position here. Can I come down your street and talk to somebody here today? God's got stuff for you this year that you can't even imagine. God's got things for you this year that are not even in your frame of thinking. God has people this year that are going to come and sow into your life. You don't know what God has for you in 2026. They're on the east side of the Jordan. And God makes a promise to a land that they cannot see. But please note this. It's not only a land that they cannot see. Remember, this is a new generation of Israelites. Mama and daddy and them have already died. Mama and daddy and them were the ones who walked through the Red Sea. Mama and daddy and them were the ones who experienced the plague. Mama and daddy and them were the ones that saw Joshua kill the Amalekites. That was mama and daddy and them. Now it's a new generation. And this new generation, all they know is wilderness. They've only seen wilderness. They've only eaten from the wilderness. They've only heard the music of the wilderness, because, hear me, not only is it outside of their sight, it's also beyond their exposure. Outside of their sight. Beyond their level of exposure. Old Testament scholar by the name of John Goldingay says that to tread is to express ownership. I got a question. How is one to own what doesn't belong to him or her? Okay. How is one to express ownership of a land I cannot see, and a land that is beyond my ability that I've ever been exposed to? It teaches us that you don't have to see it to have it. I'm sorry, I don't know if they can hear me in the back. It teaches us I don't have to see it to have it. And you don't have to have been there before in order to have it as well. And maybe the fact that that you and I are even raising the question itself is the problem. Remember the former generation, the latter part of their report was, and we look like grasshoppers to them. What cost them the promised land was their own personal self-assessment. When God makes a promise to you, it's not so much about you. You think God doesn't fully know and understand all of the complications that are tied to the promise that God gave to you? You think God didn't know that you had a reading problem or reading disability when God said, I'm gonna send you to school anyway? You think God didn't know that even though you struggle with some areas, that God put something, an entrepreneurial gift on the inside of you, and that's why you've been frustrated at your job? You think God did not know that out of everything you've been through, where your family came from, how dysfunctional your family is, you the first person in your family to know what it means to be a good father and a good mother? You think God didn't know that what he called you to do, everything was surrounding it? When God makes a promise to you, it ain't about you. And because it's not about me, that means the responsibility of the promise ain't on me. It's on the one who gave the promise. Oh, can I show y'all to this? Can I show y'all this? It's in Joshua chapter 1. I want y'all to look at it when you get home. The message from God contains two commands. Be strong and courageous and cross the Jordan. Be strong and courageous and cross the Jordan. He tells Joshua, there are two things that I need you to do, Joshua. I need you to be strong and courageous, and I need you to cross over the Jordan. However, we tend to lose sight of the two commandments commands amid the 6 commitments from God. You see, while God instructs him to be strong and courageous and to cross the Jordan, God obligates God's self to 6 things if you'll do too. God says, I have given as I promised shall be your territory. No one shall be able to stand against you. I will be with you and I won't leave you or forsake you. Let me try it one more time. Joshua, you be strong and courageous and you cross the Jordan. And then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give something to you. I'm going to promise something to you. It's going to be your territory. Nobody going to stand against you. I'm going to be with you and I'm never going to leave you. Let me try it one more time. God said, all you got to do, Joshua, is be strong and courageous. All you got to do, Joshua, is cross over the Jordan. And this is what I'll do on my part. I won't give you something. I'm going to come through on my promise to you. The territory is going to be yours. No one going to be able to stand against you. I'm going to be with you and I'll never leave you or forsake you. God asked for 2 things while making an obligation to 6. You see, because this was never solely about Joshua or even the generation of Israelites. This was about God coming through on a promise that he made to Abraham in Genesis chapter 12. And if God makes a promise, I don't care how much time comes to pass. It can be this year, it could be 20 years from now. If God makes a promise, he always comes through on his promise. Is there anybody in here that'll nudge your neighbor that's sitting next to you and say, neighbor, he's a promise keeper. He always comes through on his promise. If he promised you something, it's got to happen. If he made a promise to you, everything is going to be okay. He comes through on his promise. I wish. He says that God promises. It shows us the responsibility of who is supposed to carry the responsibility of the promise. Joshua, this ain't so much about you. This about me. Verse 2 of Joshua chapter 1. If y'all don't get this, I promise y'all I'm done. Verse 2 of Joshua 1. My servant Moses is dead. Now proceed to cross the Jordan, you and all this people, into the land I'm giving to them, to the Israelites. Verse 3. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you as I promised to Moses. You missed it. Verse 2. Now proceed to cross the Jordan, you and all this people, into the land I am giving to them, to the Israelites. Verse 3. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you. In verse 2, the giving was in process. But in verse 3, the giving was already done. But in between the giving in verse 2 and the giving in verse 3 is that you and I have to be treading. In other words, friends, if you want to get, if you ask yourself the question, how am I going to get what God has for me in this year? How are we as a church going to pursue what God has for me this year? I do not have all the answers, but I can tell you one thing it includes to keep on walking. And that's all God was trying to get Joshua to understand, is that Joshua, I know you are new kid on the block. Joshua, I know it's rough on you. Joshua, I know that this thing is very challenging. But Joshua, in between verse 2 and 3, the land I promised to you is all dependent on your ability to keep on walking. Why don't you nudge your neighbor beside you and say, neighbor, keep on walking. He says, I'll come through on my promise to you. You know, it reminds me of a little boy that was playing in the park one day. That little boy was playing with his friends and they were beginning to count how many pennies each one of them had. The little boy gathered and pulled out of his pocket and counted. He said, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies. And then his friend that was sitting next to him pulled the pennies out of his pocket and said, he said, well, let me count my pennies now. And then he began to count his pennies. He said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies in my pocket. His friend looked at him and said, hold on a minute here. I know we in grade school and maybe you don't know how to count yet, but I counted 5 pennies to my 5 pennies. Why don't you count those pennies again? And that little boy got the same hand of pennies and put them down on the ground. And he said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. And his friend looked at him because he was upset that his friend decided that he kept on counting this penny. He said, man, what is wrong with you? Because there are only 5 pennies here. He said, no, there are actually 6 pennies here. He said, well, tell me where you getting the extra penny from. He said, you see, when my daddy left home this morning, he promised me that he was going to bring me a penny back from work. And so I'm just counting the penny that my daddy promised to me. Goodbye, FIBC. May God bless y'all real good. I wish I had my voice today, but why don't you grab somebody by the hand and say, neighbor, if he promised it to you, you can take it to the bank. If he promised it to you, it's going to happen sooner this year. I just believe that my God is a promise keeper. He promised no weapon that's formed against me shall be able to prosper. He came through on his promise. He made a promise that, lo, I'll be with you always until the end of the earth. He made a promise. He promised that weeping may, I think that's my exit reference, may endure for the night, but in the morning, I wish y'all would help me out here. Why don't you preach to your neighbor and say, neighbor, you got a promise, joy coming in the morning. If you believe it today, shout yes, shout. Got a promise in the room. If you got a promise, why don't you lift up your hands and shout yeah! Shout yeah! Why don't you minister to your people on your road and say, neighbor, just keep going. The promise gonna come through. I don't know what he promised you, but the promise gonna come through. If he promised you your child coming back, your child is gonna come back. If he promised you things were gonna turn around, it's got to turn around. He always comes through. He always comes through. He always comes through.
Listen, if this was a blessing to you, do me a favor. Like this and share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this very same word. We know that God has some things in 2026 for us. And guess what? We need to be grounded in knowing how to pursue whatever God is seeking for us to pursue. Also, if this has been a blessing, consider being a member here at FIBC and also consider sowing into our ministry. This is good ground to sow. I'm telling you, trust me. And guess what? I'll see you on next Sunday. It's your favorite Pastor Ty, living purpose on purpose. I'll see you next time. Peace.